So today, we're going to dig into a hidden pattern that, believe it or not, governs everything from arguments you have online to the politics in your office. And the key to unlocking it all, it doesn't start in a boardroom. It starts on the forced floor. You know that feeling, right? When you're in a debate and you're laying out facts, you're making perfect sense, but you might as well be talking to a brick wall. Your logic, your evidence, it just bounces right off. It's one of the most frustrating feelings in the world, and it turns out there's a deep structural reason why that happens. And the clue to figuring this all out comes from a pretty unexpected place. We're heading to the forest floor in the Swiss Jura Mountains, which was documented so brilliantly by David Attenborough. This brings us to a tale of two ants. And what's really wild here is that we are looking at the exact same species, the redwood ant. They live just a stone's throw away from each other, but they are organized into two completely, radically different kinds of societies. And the difference between them, it's just night and day. On one side, you've got the super colony. Think of it as this huge, peaceful federation with hundreds of nests all connected, 1 billion ants strong. They're super cooperative, and their rule for who's in is basically, smells close enough. But then you have the territorial colony. And each nest is like its own little fortress, a defensive city-state. They're aggressive, they're exclusive, and their rule is simple. You're either one of us, or you're the enemy. Okay, so here's where it gets really important. How do these totally different societies actually grow? This is where you see the core difference in their whole operating system. It all comes down to two paths: adoption or invasion. The way the super colony does it, it's kind of beautiful, you know? When a new queen lands anywhere in their huge territory, the workers just recognize her familiar scent. They literally pull her down into an existing nest and just adopt her. She's instantly protected and she can start laying eggs right away. They grow by adding to the family, not through fighting. Now, get ready for the complete opposite with the territorial colony. A new queen from this system, well, she can't just be adopted. She has to become a parasite. She finds the nest of a totally different, smaller species, sneaks in, kills their queen, and then basically hijacks their entire workforce to raise her own first batch of kids. I mean, their entire society is literally founded on invasion and regicide. It's brutal. And this is the moment, right? This is where it gets really interesting. We're about to take this whole pattern from the forest floor and lay it right over the office floor, over our own institutions and communities. Because let's be honest, this was never just about ants. So let's ask the big question here. What can these two ant societies possibly teach us about people, about the groups we form, the companies we work for, and the way we argue with each other? All right, check this out. It maps almost perfectly. The super colony logic, that's our cooperative networks, like open scientific communities. They thrive on connection and inclusion. They bring in new people and new ideas. And they actually see counter-arguments as a good thing, as a way to get smarter. And the territorial colony logic, well, that's the human clique. You know, the gatekeeping department at work, that insular network online. They're all about strong boundaries. And to them, a counter-argument isn't a tool for learning. It's a threat. And this gets us to the absolute heart of the matter. It's the reason you feel like you're talking to a wall. It's about why arguing with a clique is like pouring gasoline on a fire. There's what you could call a devastating epistemic divide, a fundamental difference in how they even process knowledge. Okay, the key difference is how these two systems treat what they don't know. Cliques run on what you could call instinctive ignorance. For them, any information from the outside isn't just something they don't know yet, it's classified as non-information. It's not real. Ignorance is literally a protective shield. But cooperative networks, they run on learned ignorance. They get that their knowledge is limited, and for them, ignorance is just a map that shows them where to go exploring next. And all of this leads to what is maybe the single most important sentence in this entire explainer. Ready? Directly arguing with a clique does not weaken it, it energizes it. Let that sink in for a second. So, why does this happen? It's because your well-reasoned, logical argument, it's not processed as information. It's processed as an attack. And that feeling of being attacked triggers this defensive huddle. It makes the clique stronger, reinforces its identity, and proves to everyone inside that the outside world really is hostile. Your energy, it literally becomes their social fuel.
Have you ever heard this one? You give some really thoughtful feedback, a solid critique, and the response you get back is just a flat, "This doesn't apply to me." Feels like a brush off, right? But it's actually something way, way deeper.
Because you've got to understand that phrase, that's not a rebuttal, it's not an argument, it's a territorial signal. It's the system's immune response kicking in to reject foreign data. It's a wall going up. They're policing their border, not engaging in a debate. So, what's the move? If fighting it just makes it stronger, what are you supposed to do? Just walk away and let it happen? Nope. This brings us to the final and most actionable part, the optimized third path. It's a real strategy that goes beyond that simple choice of fight or flight. First, you have to see the trap you're in. It's a classic false choice. If you engage directly, you just feed the clique the exact energy it needs to thrive. But if you walk away completely, you become complicit, right? You're just letting the parasite drain the host.
So what is this third path? It's a 5-step strategy. First up, diagnose, don't debate. Just see the system for what it is. Your goal isn't to persuade them. Number 2, resource denial. Starve them of the attention and the opposition they crave. Stop giving them fuel. Third, and this one is so important, build parallel structures. Pour your energy into creating the open, collaborative alternatives. Number 4, protect the vulnerable. Make sure there are exit ramps and safe harbors for people who could be harmed. And finally, number 5, name the pattern for allies. Share this framework, talk about it, help others see it too.
Look, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. You cannot fight a territorial system on its own terms. You just can't, because its terms are designed so that you lose the moment you start playing the game. The only real path forward is to see it clearly, deny it your energy, and build something better right next to it. And that's pretty much it. Once you see this pattern, the super colony versus the territorial clique, you start seeing it absolutely everywhere. So the final question isn't really about them. It's about us. Now that you can see the pattern, which one of these societies are you actively building?